What's going on, guys? It's the Tutor here. Today I'm bringing you the final Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander Precon opening, and we are ending with a banger. We are ending with Abzan Armor. I really love Baitor, I believe this dragon is called. Right here, he will be my commander. Sorry about that, that's my dog. But I love what he does actually in the Tarkir Dragonstorm. This is a different card, obviously, than the one you can find in like the packs. However, I mean, I made a video about some of my favorite decks, and this guy was actually one of my commanders. So I'm looking forward to opening this deck and showing you guys what's inside. As always, this is a blind reaction. I'm not sure everything that's kind of inside it, and I'm not really sure exactly the entire theme of this deck. I have a deck box here. I'll be putting that into. I also have some Dragon Shield sleeves. I am not sponsored by Dragon Shield or Wizards of the Coast or anyone. However, I would love to be one day. So I'm going to get started on this precon, and I will, of course, be breaking this out into 10-minute parts and then kind of combining them together, just so it's easier when it comes to editing. So let your shield be your sword. Battle your friends with powerful creatures and spectacular spells in Commander's Magic's most popular multiplayer format. Fight under the Abzan banner with Felithar the Steadfast, who turns your defense into vicious attack power, stack up toughness, then turn the tables with devastating strikes. And then, like I said, we have Baitor right here. All right, and let's get it. Now, I believe inside this you will also get a collector booster kind of sample pack, which is right here. We'll open that in a second. You'll get this little sleeve right here. You'll get a deck box, which of course I will not be using. And here's the deck. Let's get that open and out of the way. All right. So let's just kind of take a look at this quickly. I'll let you guys kind of read this, but I mean, Baitor, who will be my commander. Yeah, I mean, really cool, just lore implications and stuff like that. And this also will tell you kind of like some like commander rules, and then also like playing the deck and what you need to do to win. So we'll do that for the blind reaction. So let's get this open. This is sealed. So, like I said, this is the final part. Which commander deck is your favorite? So far, I like the Sultai one. That one's really cool. I believe that was part 4. So you have this too, and some tokens in the back, and we'll get to those later in the video. As always, I will be sleeving my commanders in a different colored sleeve right here, just so it's easier to find in the deck when I'm playing it. And let's open the Dragon Shield sleeves. And these are the matte ones, so I really like the way they shuffle, that shuffling feel. Okay. Cool. We have that. Now let's get into the collector booster, which some of you might just be watching specifically for, just to see what I get. Roar of Endless Song. And you have Twin Maw Stormbrood. Really cool. All right, let's get into this finally then, shall we? All right, this is the commander they recommend using. Philotar the Steadfast. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have a defender, and you can spend 3 colorless and sacrifice on the creature to draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness when discard cards equal to its power. As I mentioned before, I will not be showing me sleeving the lands. I think that's just kind of boring, but I will show you the land and like what they look like. Next we have Protector of the Wastes. It's a 6-cost white with flying. When this creature enters or becomes monstrous, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments controlled by different players, and has monstrosity 3. Just kind of getting reorganized here. All right. Next we have Reunion of the House. Return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then exile Reunion of the House. And so this looks like just already it's going to be a deck based on toughness. That's super cool. You have Jaws of Defeat, which was in the set, I believe. Whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life equal to the difference between that creature's power and toughness. Like the artwork on that one. Tip the Scales is next. Sacrifice a creature. When you do, all creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. So obviously that's a shoe-in for this deck, considering it's a toughness deck. All right, next we have Will of the Abzan, which I believe is the clan. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Any number of target opponents each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls and lose 3 life. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Arbor Adherent. It's a dog creature, 2/4. You can tap for 1 mana of any color, and then you can add X mana of any one color, where X is the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Pretty good. And make sure you pay attention to the toughness of every single card, too. Like this one, I mean, this is a 7/7. I mean, granted it costs 7, but Flying Ward 2, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a number of +1/+1 counters on each other creature you control equal to that creature's toughness. Yeah, that's really good. Especially since it's every single creature you control. Next we have Rampart Architect. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, create a 1/3 white wall creature token with Defender. Whenever a creature you control with Defender dies, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So a little bit of land generation. Next we have Tree of Redemption. It has Defender, and I mean, look at this creature's toughness. It's 13. Jeez. Exchange your life total with this creature's toughness. Next we have Ikra, Shadiki the Usurper, Menace. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness, and you can have partner with this one too. If you have any ideas of who you can pair this card with, that card with, feel free to comment below. All right, next we have Baldin, Century Herdmaster. It's a legendary creature. During your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. When a Baldin attacks, up to 100 target creatures each get +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So another way to get some toughness. Right, now we have Expel the Interlopers. It's a sorcery. You can choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. Next we have a 2/10 creature, Indomitable Ancients. It's just 2/10. All right. Now we have Varrock's Faith Master. It's a 1/5 with lifelink. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. Nice. Yeah, this one might just be my favorite. I just love the toughness aspect. But flying, you planeswalkers you control have other creatures you control have hexproof. That's just a weird wording. And you can spend 6 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Next we have Wakestone Gargoyle. It's a defender flying creature. It's 3/4. You can spend 2 to creatures you control with defender can't attack this turn as though they didn't have defender. Of course we'll have walls in this deck, and walls are just like low attack, high power, low power, high toughness creatures, defender flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of Tarkir creature you control. Which, I mean, you pair that with that tree that we saw earlier, that's 13 life right there. And we have some vampires in this deck too, and dinosaurs it looks like next. It's 2/3. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is obviously very good because a lot of the cards you have in your deck will be less than 2 power, just considering they're focusing on toughness rather than actual power. And as I mentioned before, this is a dinosaur. It's a 4/8. It has flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and indestructible. Pretty nice. Next we have a spider, and one day I do want to make a spider deck. This one is, I believe, Arasta of the Endless Web. Reach, whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Nice. That might be able to get substituted out of the deck, honestly, for something else. But let me know in the comments if you agree with that. Alright, Assault Formulation. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power once again. Probably will be more cards like this in the future. Target creature with defender can attack this turn as though it didn't have defender. Creatures you control get +0/+1 until end of turn. Next we have Defender. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. And once again, my dog loves to be loud. Alright, next we have Seaborn Muse. It's a 2/4 spirit creature. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. Nice. So you can basically just have your guys always face forward, so defending and attacking if you wanted. Alright, next we have Sylvan Caryatid. It has Defender and Hexproof, and it's a mana dork. You can add 1 mana of any color. Nice. Next we have Towering Titan. It's a 0/0 6-cost creature, but I'm sure it won't be as simple as that. This creature enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the total toughness of other creatures you control. Obviously that can get really nutty really quickly. Have that tree up, for example. Sacrifice a creature defender. All creatures gain trample until end of turn. That's a very powerful effect for this deck. Very, very powerful. That's a win condition, honestly. If you can get that trample effect off. And a lot of creatures will have defender in this deck. So next we have an instant. Exile target animal permanent and you lose 3 life. Like commanders being annoying, just do that. Next we have an Elder Dragon. Dragonlord Dromoka. This spell can't be countered. Flying lifelink. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Next we have Fey Burrow Elder. The Tree Folk Druid. This creature gets +1/+1 for each other color among permanents you control. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Since this is white, green, and black, you can get 3 for the most part. Okay, next we have another Elder Dragon. This one is Shadrick's Silverquill. It's a 2/5 legendary creature with flying double strike. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose 2. Each mode must target a different player. Target player creates a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying, and then target player draws a card and loses 1 life, or target player puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature they control. Alright, next we have Sidar, Kondo of Jumara, with flanking, and flanking reads, whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, the blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. And creatures your opponent controls without flying or reach can't be blocked with power 2 or less. So that's pretty good. Alright, next we're getting into some artifacts, and we are starting with Kolfiner's Urn. Whenever a creature with toughness 4 or greater is put into your graveyard, which should be most cards in your deck, you may exile it. At the beginning of the end step, if 3 or more cards have been exiled with this artifact, sacrifice. If you do, return those cards to the battlefield under your owner's control. Nice way to get them back on the field. Next we have Staff of Completion. It's a 3-cost card, and you can pay 1 life, destroy target artifact you own. You can pay 2 life to add 1 mana of any color. You can pay 3 life to proliferate, pay 4 life to draw a card, or you can untap this artifact. Next, we have an artifact creature with Defender, Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. 3 cost. Oops. This creature can attack players who attacked you during their last turn as though it didn't have Defender. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +3/+3 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Nice. Next, we're getting into some of those dual lands. And I'll kind of go through these, and like I said, I'll leave them at a different time. Canopy Vista, Exotic Orchard, Fortified Village, Isolated Chapel, Farmland, Sungrass Prairie. No, that's kind of neat artwork. Look at that. Sunpetal Grove, Temple Maladi, Temple of Plenty, Temple of Silence, Twilight Mire, Woodland Cemetery. And now we are back to artifacts, and of course we are going with Arcane Signet followed by Soul Ring, as it's been a common trend in these commander decks. Of course, Arcane Signet reads add 1 mana of any color in your commander's other identity, having there be 3. That's really good. Soul Ring, of course, just pay 1 to get 2 colorless back. It's kind of insane. You'll see this in like every commander deck. It's the most common commander card you'll see. You got Command Tower, of course. Next, we're getting back into some creatures. Next, we have this enchantment creature, Sheep. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life, and this is Nyx's Fleece Ram. It's an 05, so of course another low power, high toughness creature. Next, we have Slaughter of the Strong. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control, total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. Next, we have Sword of Plowshares, another common card you'll see in white decks. Exile target creature to control against its life equal to its power. We have another wall coming up. This is Wall of Omens. It's an 04 card with Defender. When this creature enters, draw a card. So just a little bit of card draw. Ween Mantle Chaplain with Defender 03. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying for each creature with Defender you control. Whenever another creature you control with Defender enters, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Next, we're getting to some black cards. We have Behind the Scenes. It's a 3-cost enchantment. Creatures you control have Skulk, and Skulk is when they can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And then you have you can spend 5 mana to gain creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Now we have Blight Pile. It's a 2-cost card with Defender. You can spend 3 to tap it, and when you tap it, each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. You can definitely get quite a bit of damage off that, depending on your board state. Next we have Feed the Swarm. Destroy target creature or enchantment your opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value. Next we have Infernal Grasp. Destroy target creature and you lose 2 life. Once again, nice board clear. Alright, next we have another wall, what's called the Wall of Limbs. It's a 3-cost black card with Defender. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and then you can spend 7 to sacrifice this creature, and target player loses X life, where X is the creature's power. Next we have this Grazer. Arboreal Grazer specifically. It's an 0/3 creature with reach. When this creature enters, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Nice. Good card to have in the opening hand. Get some ramping going right away. Oops. Drop my sleeve. Next we have X-Bane Guardian. Defender. Add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the number of creatures you control with Defender. Quick little cut right there, just to start another video. Next we have Caravan Caratid. It has Defender. It's a 2/5. When this creature enters, draw a card. Honestly, a 3-cost 2/5 is pretty good, and you get to draw a card. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Next we have Evolving Wilds. Jotty Offshoot with Defender 0/3. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life. Nice. You might be able to honestly change that out for something different, even though it is a 0/3 with Defender that costs 1. This isn't really like a landfall deck, but this is another wall. It's a Defender. Tap to add green for each creature you control Defender. That's obviously very good. Next we have some more lands. Oh, well, next we have a land. Ready to prove me wrong deck. Thank you very much. Next we have Tower Defense. It's an instant. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. Next we have another wall. This one is the Wall of Roots. Of course, common theme. You'll have Defender. 0/5. Put a -0/-1 counter on this creature, and you can add a green. Activate only once each turn. You might not be using that effect, honestly, but this is just an instant sorcery. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Just cost 2. Next we have Indulging Patrician. Crazy artwork, I love that, look at that. Flying lifelink at the beginning of your end step. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life, and it's a 1/4. Next we have some more artifacts. Oh, sorry, this is an artifact creature specifically with Defender. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. That's really good. Next we have some signets. I'll let you kind of read what they do, but Ozrov Signet. Next we have Selena's Signet. I guess those are just the 2 signets. I think the other Precons had more signets, but that's okay. Of course, we have Swiftfoot Boots. Equip creatures has hexproof and haste, and you can spend 1 to equip it. So, pretty good. Alright. Next we have Walking Bulwark. It's a Defender 0/3. You can spend 2 mana until end of turn. Target creature with Defender gains haste and can attack as though it didn't have Defender, and assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. You can activate only as a sorcery. Alright, now we have some more lands. There we go. Axis Tunnel, Wajuku Bog, Deceptive Landscape, Path of Ancestry, Radiant Grove, Plains. So this is basically, we're running down to the end where it's just lands and tokens left. So what do you guys think of this precon? Is this your favorite? Is this your least favorite? Where would you put this in the ranking in terms of power among the 5 precons? Me, I haven't played these, but I'm going to assume this one's going to be up there, at least 2 or 1, I would assume. But that could be just bias, so don't take my word for it. Would you recommend that I use Baitor as a commander, or would you rather I use the actual other commander that they recommend? Oh, actually there's some walls left, so we'll sleeve those. Oh, well, looks like it's just the one card. Wall of Blossoms. Defender, when this creature enters, draw a card. Nice. And I will, of course, show you the tokens that you get with this precon too. Inkling, bird, wall, spider, wall, inkling, bird, wall, spider. Now on the other side, bird, insect. That's gnarly. I like that. Insect, spider, bird, insect, inkling, insect, spider. All right, I'm going to sleeve these lands and I'll be right back. Alright, I sleeved all of the land cards, and I believe there are a total of 37 lands in this deck, kind of like the other precons. I also did separate all of the cards with Defender, and there are 18 Defender cards in this deck total. You also have some cards to generate Defenders, such as Rampant Architect, where you can, when it enters or even attacks, you can create a 1/3 white wall creature token Defender, which is why you have these Defender cards in your deck. Now again, I'm going to be using Baitor. At the beginning of your end step, put a number of +1/+1 counters on up to 1 other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Return up to 1 target creature card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's the commander I'll be going with, even though it's definitely not as good as the Felithar Steadfast ability. But feel free to just comment below and let me know if you guys use Felithar or Baitor, if you like just using the dragons more, if you prefer using the clan leader. Alright everyone, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't done so already, please like, comment, subscribe. Please also watch all of the pre-con opening videos I did. Those videos helped me out quite a bit, considering I want to get monetized by YouTube and I need watch time too. So if you could just watch those videos too, that would be perfect. If you want to see me do a different way in the future when it comes to pre-cons, let me know down in the comments below. Of course, I'm open to feedback, criticism, anything that you may have. So once again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a good one.